Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. That's right. We are live and back at it again. We are ready to go. More wrestling coming your way. Happy Tuesday. You got another one in the books. You get to end your day with a couple hours of wrestling, wrestling chat, wrestling talk, wrestling rumors and news, and a whole bunch of reaction. We have NXT on the docket tonight. Of course, your new tag team champs, The New Day, will be involved in this show. Surprise, surprise. With all that being said, we're going to get into this, folks. We got lots to talk about, lots to get into. We are your alternative commentary to all the wrestling all week long, all year long. We don't stop, folks. Let's go. We are live, folks, and yes, we're back at it again. Ding, ding, ding. I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, as I said already. We are the Wrasslin for Life Network. That is NXT. We are getting a recap of Deadline, which just passed this Saturday. Lots to talk about in that regard. Lots of changes, but folks, as always, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube, and I am joined by the Can't Stop the What?
Right, can't stop the what? Don't stop the what? Yes, absolutely. We're getting right now a recap from NXT Deadline. First of all, how y'all beautiful people doing and everything? Big, obviously, shout out to the Iron Man of the internet, the Superman of streaming there, Mr. KJ White and everything. But absolutely, I see Lauren, Tom, Juice, Damien, everybody. What up?
Bonnie.
What up, Ronnie? What?
Uh-oh, Big Tom's back. Big Tom's on thin ice.
Uh-oh. We're going to have a big on big action. Pause.
Yes, he's back.
Well, speaking of accusations, I don't know if that's the best term to be thrown around and everything, especially with former CEOs of WWE about accusations.
Accusations. Listen, man, what a weird day to have. We'll talk about it, I guess, as we move along here, Nick. But dude was trending for complete opposite reasons. One was the other one was I'm fucked even more. What is happening?
Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Oh, yeah, right.
But we've got Roxanne Perez right now kicking off with a promo in ring.
Let's go, Roxy. I like Roxy. She's little, but she's feisty.
Well, she has the pedigree, she has the talent and everything. She was a former Ring of Honor world champion. As we've got a stretch hummer.
Wait, what? All right, not even think about letting this lady speak here tonight.
Why is Grayson Waller interrupting her though?
Because Grayson Waller is just a jerk, I guess.
Right. Well, I mean, he's kind of become the halfway prodigal son, the prodigal heel of NXT.
I will say this, Nick, though. Anytime somebody makes a very flamboyant entrance with a vehicle and makes a point to talk about where they parked it and such, it's generally bad news for that.
Yeah, but just don't do the Goldberg. Don't try and smash the windshield with your own hand and everything, because that's how you almost, lose an arm and stuff like that. Use the pipe and everything. I know we're still, have to not act like everything's fully kayfabe and all of that. But yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. But no, I agree. And look, we got the first one tonight. Scott, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. But Big Nick and KJ, this is my Friday off for the rest of the week. Pardon?
What?
The Electric Boogaloo Part 34, Patty the Body.
Oh, Patty the Body.
I knew it was coming.
Patty the Body. Knew it was coming. It's so interesting that I guess it's for those of you who are with on us watching NXT Deadline and Ring of Honor Final Battle with the 525,600 minutes. Shout out to any theater nerds that get that reference.
I'm men, soulmates.
Right. When we cut off the UFC of our extra bonus Brucey bonus coverage of UFC after that, and the main event ended in a draw. Like, could not have timed that better. Of like, all right, I'm fixing to get up out of here.
The funniest part was when you started reading about it, it wasn't like, oh my God, it was so good. You couldn't
It
pick
was
the
so
winner.
close. It was
like, holy
fantastic. It was a
fuck.
barn burner. It's like,
Just go
no.
home. Just go home. Nobody gets the purse.
Right. No one cared. We've already announced another interim title match for the UFC light heavyweight title.
How's it going, Kevin? Welcome to the stream, folks. If you are new here, don't forget, like, subscribe, join us. We are growing by the minute. We are the alternative commentary to all your wrestling all week long. Tomorrow, winter is coming. AEW War is here. It's going to be a good one. We're going to see what happens. A lot to figure out, but we got Ricky Starks, MJF. Right now on NXT, we got Waller, we got Roxy, but here comes Bron.
I really like what they're doing now with Bron. If he comes out with like the old school, like 80s TV on his little, title placard and everything. He's got the colorful. Yeah, well, it's still.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying what it's like.
Right, but that's kind of what NXT's become. I mean, think about it. Roxanne, Cora Jade, it's very much become a little bit of high school
theater over here.
Right. But see, I guess we're getting big on big action here of, we've got Big Tom, we've got Big Nick, we've got Big Daddy, pause.
But you know what's going to happen. We're going to get a mixed tag.
Kevin, Mike, Small Mark, I see you.
I see you.
Right.
So are we going to get a mixed tag match? Waller and Mandy versus Roxy and Bron?
Does it end up Mandy with Waller, or does it end up? Well, it's interesting to see where the NXT women's division lays out, because we've heard a lot of people say about how Indy's going to end up going to the main roster. We had that little bit of a tease, I guess. I guess her and Cameron Grimes are the two next peg to move up. So it's going to be interesting. Now we're starting to see of people that are in NXT for a hot minute. People that like Bron, like Carmelo Hayes. Sorry,
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes. Christ, even Waller at this point we thought Waller was going to be the buzzard, and everything.
Oh shit!
As Mandy, speak of the devil, and they shall appear.
Right, but that makes sense. Now we got the two number one contenders and the two champions involved in a little finagle.
Very true. I didn't even fully think about that with coming off of Deadline they both won the Iron Survivor King of the Mountain Impact knockoff match.
I think this is kind of what we wanted coming out of when MJF wins the belt. The next show, you want to just open the show with the people that won the big stuff, right?
Right.
Get to the point. I got to throw out NXY or NXT. All I want, it's it's just all for Toxic Attraction.
And I've got JD right now backstage with the medical practitioner, I guess I'll call them, of very much, it was a bruise to the left orbital socket.
He told the doctor what the problem was.
And he's giving the Creed brothers shit because they're as well. They're there as well, sorry. I've heard the sneaky rumor that they're planning for big things with Julius Creed, I believe, of the taller, thinner out of the two, that they're planning to kind of push him on the main roster. But then again, we've heard that with Jason Jordan, we've heard that with Chad Gable, and now we get shoosh.
Yeah, people, I mean, the one thing you find very interesting right now, Nick, in this time for wrestling is the minute someone's liked or the minute someone's over, there has to be a change. Like, it's the funniest shit. Like, okay, this tag team hasn't even got off the ground. They're still in developmental. And you're like, we're going to solo push the good one. You're like, wait.
Right. Like, we're going to split them up real fucking quick.
Yes. Could I see it? I see a future for the Creed brothers. I do. I think they're talented. They've shown a lot of talent in the ring. Oh, Roxy giving Mandy shit. I like how they did this.
Clunky.
I don't care what anyone says. Mandy Rose has had a year and a half. And
she's we're coming up on the end of the year golden KJs, the 4-lifeies, what have you, as Wesley's getting attacked backstage by
shit just
not two
happening
dimes,
everywhere.
by half stacks, what have you. As
Hey!
Tony D'Angelo's like, no, cut the footage.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. But don't forget about subscribing to us, hitting the like on that button. Absolutely, ring the bell notification like they do at the start and end of every match. Why? And also we've got the whole super chats and everything going right now and everything.
Yeah.
So instead of telling us, oh, you missed my comment, we'll just send it as a super chat, and then
There you go. Then we can't miss it. But hey, we told you, big things popping. So here we are, folks. Like I said, things have changed slightly, and we continue to grow. We continue to plan and plot. 2023 is going to be a big year for this channel. 2022, I mean, I know we didn't see the full 2022 as a channel, but we made the most of it.
I was gonna say, still started as a baby, and 100% everything, just goes back into doing big things popping, little things stopping over here when it comes to the channel and everything.
Right. What's up, Stan? How you doing? This is going to lead to a mixed tag
later.
Please
don't call Sorry, I had to.
First thing I thought.
Right.
Folks, get your predictions in.
I chatted you and you still ain't responding.
We got our first match of the night. We got Wesley. We got half stack. 2 stack?
Flapjack.
Flapjack. She's champ here.
Who? What? Oh, Mandy. 100%.
What's up, Smile?
Smile, what up? Lauren, what up? Larry, what up? Never fear. Never. Hey, there we go.
All the wrestling worth it.
Right. See, we're you're anti Kevin Patrick, you're anti Excalibur, you're anti whatever commentator you decide to put on mute. Shooky ducky quack quack.
Listen, at the end of the day, we are the wrestling friends that you can't find anywhere else. So we're here to
alternative commentary you can't find anywhere else. Right.
Oh my god, that looked awful.
Awful. What?
So we get a tope holy shito.
Tope Onolo as I'm now in commercial break.
It didn't end like the bottom of that spot just did not look pretty. It's not supposed to, but that looked fucking awful.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh. No, you're good. Knock. Who's there? Veer, who? Veer coming for the NXT titles. Book it. What? I feel like there's like half a dozen whats you should have thrown in there and everything.
Right.
Veer and Song are going for NXT tag title gold more than Veer going for NXT solo gold. What?
No, I think I like what they're doing with Veer and Sanga. Sanga? Yeah, Sanga.
Right.
Sorry, they changed
Into sure.
No, I am pretty sure it's Veer and.
Are you pretty sure? Or are you into sure?
No, I like what they're doing. I really like this approach. I really do think that there's an opportunity here, and of course, I mean, they have main card potential, dude.
Oh, absolutely. They're authors of pain, authors of agony, whatever. Fucking big beefy boys. The brawler. What was it with Brody Lee and Eric Rowan with the Hammers and everything? Their tag team name, the Bludgeon Brothers. It's 100% their version of that. Of you just have them show up and just wreck shop. Which I feel bad now that I've, much like Coke and Diet Coke, I guess I've named him now Flapjack. I go Flapjack Stack.
Yeah.
Win my DQ. Come on, Flapjack Stack.
Flapjack Stack. How you doing?
Yakety yak. Don't Flapjack. Why?
How you doing, Kevin? Welcome to the stream. Big Tom can't wait for Christmas. That's cool. Salut, Lauren.
Salut. So while we're in commercial here real quick, I guess, as quick as we can, and I know this is probably going to take up a good chunk, do we want to get into the news of the day?
Vince McMahon?
I see you read my mind, because there's been multiple news things that have come out, but 100% I think Vince is the hot topic. He's coming back like the big baddie at the end of,
right.
The middle of the trilogy of you just start to see him loom over, and you know he's going to show up in the third act there. Of,
Right,
you
you just can't get rid of this fucking
off.
guy. Just when you thought he was a goner, the Vince came back.
The Vince came back the very next month. Oh, the Vince came back.
Now, again, these fucking stories, A, are clickbait. B, who is the source? C,
legal attorneys. See, to me, the biggest thing of this whole, Vince is planning a return. Cool. Well, I plan to work, with WWE or with AEW at some point. Doesn't mean it's going to fucking happen. I understand he's majority shareholder. He's what have you, this, that, and the third. But this is still a publicly traded company. The board of directors, the president, I guess potential new vice president with William Regal, are going to shut any potential of Vince showing back up, and especially showing back up on TV with more allegations happening. And it just shows you 100% of when we thought of when he was backstage and Gorilla and he just yells out F him and everything like that. And he just kind of pops out to cut little quickie promos as the man's under allegation after allegation after allegation of the man just does not understand what's going on. He thought that this was all going to blow over and he could turn around and hop back.
He thought he was in 1972 where shit is just like, I didn't do it. They're like, all right, we believe him.
Right. I was going to say, well, speaking of accusations, shout out Cliff, the other brother from another mother over there, but the big knee Nick, what? Accusations, sir.
Accusations.
I don't got no hush money here, so, I can't do nothing with it.
What else we got? Chris. Roxy cool with Bron Breakker if she beats his girl kayfabe.
Well, that's the thing,
right?
Is I guess, shooty shoot. Insider spill the tea gossip of how Cora Jade and Bron Breakker might be potentially a thing. What?
Mm-hmm. So true, Kev. So true. Here as well, 2 women are having lawsuits against Vince. Yes. So like Nick said, I mean, the rumor of them the Vince returning, especially under light of further allegations. Come on now. And Vince might have said to a friend or somebody nearby, like, oh, I'm coming back. It could have been tongue in cheek, or, it could have been, that whole I'm never going to die kind of attitude. It could have been anything. And it just gets reported like gospel. And here we are a couple hours later, and it's like, no, there's more allegations, which makes it even more unlikely that he's returning anytime at all.
Right. And right now, Flapjack, I guess, with a single leg crab onto Wesley. But yeah, 100% of
Wesley.
Yes. But the fact that there was the whole accusations and everything towards Vince, and now we have much more aggressive, much more not cool, I guess is the best way I can say them on YouTube, accusations towards Vince. So no, you're done here, homie. Like, and not to mention, everything's been copacetic. You've had people return specifically because they know Hunter's in charge versus Vince. Yeah. So why mess with that? It's still one of those things of, if you're running a company, and I get that this has been Vince's baby for 40 to 50 years and everything, what have you. But if you're still see that everything's not only growing, but trending and moving upwards and everything, why do you think, outside of senility, that you need to be involved now?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know the context. I don't know like what the point is, but again, even if he thinks it, doesn't matter what he thinks, right? Like, I could think I'm a pony. Doesn't mean I'm going to fucking be galloping around the yard tomorrow morning.
Nay, that's what I say to Vince coming back. Nay.
All right, folks.
I was going to say, well, here, KJ, use the Quebec voice and say salut.
Salut. I mean, that's as close as I get to French. We do have stacks right now, both men down. Tony at ringside And I guess we're setting up Tony and Wesley for the future.
I'm here for it. I mean, who do you think takes the North American title off of Wesley? Because I feel that's going to be now an interesting division when it comes to NXT. If we're starting to see people move upwards.
If people are moving up, if people are moving onward, like it all will depend how this plays out. But yeah, Wesley on fire right now, Nick.
Right. There's one for you. We're not on a commercial break, so
yeah, we gotta wait for later.
But we have a somersault Pele kick from Wesley for a 3 count on flapjack, 2 stacks, half stack, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, that's all that was. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer was
exactly. Damien saying Dave Meltzer was the source, and even Lauren agreeing about how Meltzer was the source. So it's debatable as to what you can take with that. But see, now here's a potential challenger for the North American title, Dominic Dijah Terminator.
Dijah Terminator. Arnold Dijah.
Yeah, do it to me. Give the belt to me now. I am the North American champion. Yeah, do it. It's Tony. So is Dijak the hired gun now for Tony?
Could it be?
Because we had them talking. I want to say last
week. How they did the very theatrical shot to the glasses?
Oh yeah, it was the cinematic of you just waiting for that like code little thing to pop up of like. Burp was a former tag team champion. What?
This is an interesting thing. Now, I don't think they're actually friends. This is more looking like it's leading to a triple threat. But I think Dijak with Tony would work. He's like
he's the muscle. Well, it would give Dijak would have to have actually more character. I don't get with this whole fully. He's basically T-Bar without the goddamn mask, honestly, at this point. I mean, he went from T-Bar to Terminator. So it's a little, you need to have some character. Go back to that old Dominic Dijakovic that had those banger matches with Keith Lee. Chase you!
Do you like that they're doing like the beeped out cursing?
I mean, they're kind of halfway trying to act like this is more of a not Monday Night Raw, not Friday Night SmackDown. Of this is more the tamer edition. And I mean, Christ, Chase U's become 100% of an NXT through and through. Of they're a staple of NXT at this point.
Yeah.
John, what up? What up? What up?
John, Lauren, Kevin, Chris.
No, I think Dijak is like a vigilante type character, like Sting, but not as great. And no
not as great and no face paint. I love it
because he's like, I'm just here for your title and your boots. He is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator of NXT.
Shit. All right, so
we're getting a promo. Up next, we're getting at least Chance Encounter. What? At ringside versus Toxic Attraction versus Diamond Mine. But maybe they'll have better luck than Monday Night Raw, to where no one's mics worked, or they just kind of had everybody just hanging out by ringside, but nobody could comment on anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. What is this? This would be the wrong time for Vince to come back while we in the game with TG Holmes and Amy Scandal. TJ Holmes and Amy Scandal. Got that. That was hard to read. Yeah, I mean,
I'm lost.
Yeah, like, dude, the only thing Vince could do is start his own company. Start a new one.
Vince, you're so good at business. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it.
Revolutionize it all over again.
Do it without the territories that you can conquer and everything, and all the guys that you can put out of business. What?
Right. Meltzer was a source, so I ignored it. We don't really need to get too deep in that. If you've watched this stream more than once, you probably know how I feel about Meltzer. And I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Journalism.
Well, here's the thing, and I argue with everybody about this because when people want to, think it's mudslinging, I mean, at the end of the day, I was a fan, like once upon a time, and I mean that's where I think as a fan I have the right to have this opinion of like I've watched you write things, and then we get to 2021 and you just fucking have the wheels fall off, and you basically get a man crush on these gentlemen, and you can't get over it. It's fucking weird. What?
What? But so as someone who I feel like most of us, especially that are the smart mark type, would have you or feel they know the business and everything, grew up under the wisdom tree that is Uncle Dave and all of that. And now not only has age caught up to him very much, I guess, like guys like Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning, like Christ, MJ on the Wizards and everything, but especially now doing what we do and everything, of now when you see you know a little bit behind the curtain and everything, it's even more of like, okay, so you're literally just taking what they tell you to put out and putting it out. Like you've lost that impartialness that always came with Uncle Dave. He would always bring you up to stuff that you never really knew about, that you didn't, you felt like, oh, he knows more than I do because I never knew about that. Now it's like, no, now I feel like I know better than you.
Yeah, because you've done, and I think it's not even totally the case in the sense of, I mean, the guy really did dumb himself down. And I mean, at the end of the day, man,
too many Meltzer drivers.
What were we here 2 days ago, 3 days ago, to having this exact same conversation about, his credibility. And I said, how many times has Dave put out a story about the WWE that within 24 hours, it turns out to be complete and utter horseshit? Time and time again. And it's always like a negative story about the WWE from Dave Meltzer has to be reconsidered and reconsidered again, because generally it's just like, it's like Tony will pat me on the head if I do this. Like it's fucked, or whoever his sources are.
I get to be the little spoon tonight.
Yeah, right?
It goes Chris, Tony, me.
Jesus. Salud, CJ.
Salud. Hey, my brother from another mother.
Mandy call-up happening tonight. Ooh.
Does Mandy go up solo, or do we get up Toxic Attraction up as a whole?
I don't know. I would imagine you would keep them together. They've done well together.
Do you like Alex Meltzer? Ooh.
His little brother.
Oh, God. Brian Alvarez?
Brian Alvarez.
That's his little brother.
Oh, solo and temporary.
Ah, fair enough. But so now we have Kane Carter at ringside on commentary, as to try and cut in between Booker T, as we've got Toxic Attraction versus Diamond Mine. Ivy Nile.
Can you still call him the Diamond Mine, I guess? Yeah.
Well, the only thing that's missing is Roddy and Bivens, so. I am 100% all about Toxic Attraction. I feel, no, they should have the main roster women's tag belts, because you forget that the main roster tag belts exist until you see them on TV.
That's true. Oh, I mean, they're great. The entrance is good. The vibe is good. Gigi's a star. She stands out, and she will separate from this group at one point. She is the Jamie Hayter of NXT, and she will rise. Pause.
She makes some things rise. Pause. But that's why I think to CJ's comment and everything about how Mandy goes up solo just temporarily or whatever, I still think you move up Toxic Attraction to counteract Damage Control. If you really built up Damage Control correctly, you could do an A to B, or you could have one run SmackDown while one run small Raw. Fuck.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got options. Now we got a number one contenders match. Ivy Nail, who you just realize how exactly small she is sometimes. Ivy
She's
Nail.
Lady Luna.
My shit. What the hell just happened there?
Big ass knee from Gigi.
Oh,
As
sweet.
I've got JC Jane trash talking the champs at ringside. Yeah, Ivy now 100% to me is she's mini Luna Vachon.
Oh,
2 count.
how do you feel about Chance and Carter as champions? What's your feels on this one?
I've said on record that NXT builds up their women's tag belts much better than WWE main roster WWE does. So I don't mind it. I think that they work because they're an actual built tag team. It's much like how we've seen about potential talks of Rana moves away from main title contender to tag title contender. How we saw Sasha and Naomi walk out of the company. How we saw Sasha and Bayley throw a fit allegedly at WrestleMania. Of there's that need for actual tag teams on the main roster. It's just WWE can't figure out what the fuck to do with it, but they somehow seem to make it work in NXT.
No, they always have, and I think, I mean, that's part of the dynamic. NXT changes the approach completely.
Oh, 100%. Well, and is it out of the line to say that NXT may have one of the best women's divisions in professional wrestling right now?
I think so. Even the ones I don't like are good. Like Wendy Chu's a great wrestler. Shit gimmick.
Right. Ivy Nile thrown into the champs at ringside.
That was a terrible forearm, though. Dude, you literally moved.
They can't all be perfect.
Right. Ivy just gets chucked.
How did I end up ahead of you?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a no decision, no contest.
Triple threat. Here we come.
Yeah, absolutely. So then Diamond Mine takes the pinfall, so neither the champ or Toxic Attraction takes the pin.
Sounds about right. Right.
Now let's keep track of how many refs potentially get struck right now.
Yeah.
And who doesn't get fired.
Wait, NXT just left. Let's go to the back while a brawl is going on. Like, these brawls happen so often, we don't need to watch this one.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Impact, also known as NXT.
They just faded back to Brooks and Dunn.
But I almost halfway like it versus they hang with it too long.
Yeah.
As weird as that is.
Laying around.
Right. Of like, all right, so everything's been settled. Now you all need to kiss and make up. Pause. We've got Brooks and Mullet now.
Hey. Ivy to me is Ivory and Beth Phoenix put together and shrunk in the dryer.
I'll give you that 100%. We've got the big beefy boy showdown coming up next now. We've got Odyssey Jones making his return in ring to NXT versus Von Wagner.
Are they trying to give
boy showdown? Big beefy boy slapping meat. Pause.
Are they trying to give Malik and his partner a less fluffy gimmick? Like, you give them a little more of an attitude?
We want the smoke. They got the We Want the Smoke edition. Right. They got the Street Profits or Private Party. Because when in doubt, copy another similar tag team.
Right. No, I mean, Kevin, Mandy Rhodes was on the main roster. She over a year ago now, Nick. She moved on to NXT, and we were surprised then. She won the belt. She hasn't let it go. And to me, I know there's a lot of critics of Mandy Rhodes, but she's been a great champion. She's been a good heel champion. She's won matches. I don't know the issue with her. She's the poster girl for this whole fucking show. And that's partly why I think it's a challenge to decide when to move her to the main roster again.
Well, I feel like once you move Mandy to the main roster, she becomes a contender of whether, especially if you move her to SmackDown, Liv, you step aside. Raquel, you kind of step aside of, even though it's heel versus heel, Ronda versus Mandy seems more like the best match to make out of all 2, 3, what have you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
CJ says, how is everyone in the chat tonight? What? Absolutely. While we're on a nice little commercial break and everything. And don't forget, we do have them super. Cut the shit. Chats, you can, we can now send. What? You good, my guy?
Oh, sorry, dude. I zoned out for a second. My bad.
Okay. Well,
I didn't know you asked me something. My bad. I was trying to get a post up.
Fair enough. Well,
good,
yes,
yeah, no,
absolutely, 100%, folks. We do now, we did happen to crush that, threshold and everything. We're past 1K subscribers and everything, and still forever moving onward and upwards. 100%, like I've always said around here, big things popping, little things stopping at 100%. So absolutely, be a friend, tell a friend. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell notification, all of that. And we do now even have super chats and everything. So if you want to sit there and like, I know KJ's challenged me on this and everything. So if you want to see what could a what man chuck? Absolutely. I guess we could have a whole what train and everything. Pause.
The what train?
The chat and everything like that. Absolutely. For anybody that's out there you missed my comment. Well, just put it as a super chat and 100% we won't miss it. What?
Yes. No, to anybody that has utilized the super chat, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, 100%. It does nothing but literally just help us, like I've said, just keep moving onwards and upwards of, helps us continue to grow as we keep expanding. We've still got, CJ, we've got Ashley, we've got Cliff. What? We're still going to put out original content. What? We've still got big things popping, those things stopping over here. What?
Right. NXT has the most competitive women's division. Fair enough. I believe AEW has the most talent. I don't know, define it. Right? Deep, super talented, yes, but it's
top heavy, very much top heavy.
Yeah. Hater's great. She got ways to go.
You have Hater, Britt, Thunder Rosa, Athena, and
Jade's getting there. I wouldn't call her.
Well, I was going to say, okay, so Jade and.
But when you say a lot of talent, we talk about women's divisions. Let's be real. I mean, when you start at the top and go through Belair, Becky, Bayley, Asuka, Dakota
you can do it alphabetically and name fucking 5 people.
I mean, that's
per
not even
letter
fair.
that knock it out of the park.
That's like the fucking the Yankees and versus the Toledo Mud Hens. Like, what are we doing?
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah. I respect the body. The body of work or just the body?
It's a body, yeah. But so I've got Trick and Carmelo Hayes right now backstage.
Well, yeah, Lisa's
Trick's even calling Carmelo out. I'm like, this doesn't look good, my guy. I was like, we're getting a
wicked picture.
Swanton off the top rope into a pile, and you're just like, ah!
Right. Lisa's thrilled with what? That's it. Everyone. What? Send $1 and a what, and he'll say it every time someone does a super chat with a what. He's got to go on a.
Oh my
what
god! See if you can make me. I'm a fucking
right?
carnival game.
The wedding, right? We just start tapping on our glasses.
Oh Jesus! So we've got the big beefy boy showdown right now. We've got Odyssey Jones versus Von Wagner. What?
Thunder Rosa will return in February. Dale, there's been a lot of speculation about Thunder Rosa, and I mean, I'm a big fan. Nick talked about how talented she is. I'm a big fan of Thunder Rosa. Now, her time in AEW has been a little bit tumultuous, so there has been some speculation. Does she avoid going to AEW? I'm not saying WWE, but there's other places where she's very much welcome. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see her back. I think she adds to the division, but it did feel for quite a while that there was at least a separation between Thunder Rosa and a big chunk of the roster.
But see, you still do come down to, at the end of the day, you have to get this combination of talent and booking. Of Thunder Rosa was a victim of, like a lot of champions at that time, of she just fell victim of, you were great one up to winning the championship, and then the booking failed you.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the issue, right? Like Thunder Rosa had a very lackluster championship.
Right. Why is Odyssey Jones not on the main roster? Honestly, we've seen all this talk about, Carmelo Hayes, even Von Wagner, what have you, but just if we're going size and stature and everything, I could see Odyssey Jones on the main roster, if at least that's how you kind of dip your toes in, what have you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Odyssey with big slam on Vaughn, and we're battling away. Anyone bet?
Oh, NXT tonight, NXT Women's Championship, Mandy Rose versus Roxanne Perez. So we might, like CJ said, we might get a new NXT Women's Champion tonight.
Roxy with the surprise upset after all this time.
Mandy moved on to bigger and better things.
Interesting. I don't know, man.
See, Lisa now laying down the gauntlet here. See, she said it, folks. I didn't say it. No, go back.
By the way, folks, do we have any predictions on this match? Anybody?
Right.
Anybody? Predict. What is your nitpick?
Pause. Accusations. No, don't say that now, especially with everything that's been going on with WWE and everything right now. 100% do not say that. But what? I want to beat my $2 donation. What? Really? What? Hey, she said I didn't say shit.
I think that Regal will come back to WWE and help his son. I think Regal will come back to the WWE and help the company.
That's what he pitched to Tony, though, is why he wanted to go back, is because he wanted to go back and help his son. And now all of a sudden you're coming back as vice president.
It was the equivalent of, I can't make it. I don't feel good.
Sorry, I got to hang now, so I can't make it in today. And how much is the writing on the wall, though, for Brucey P? How much does Bruce Pritchard just start counting down the days at this point?
Bruce surprises me that he survived this long. He's like the Tozawa of the back office.
Who surprises you more, Bruce Pritchard or Kevin Dunn?
Kevin, listen, I think the saving grace for Kevin Dunn
Jones,
is, a guy with that much wrestling production under his belt, bad or good.
Hey, Odyssey Jones with the win on just, honestly, a simple crossbody splash. Big win for a big guy. What?
There we go. And we got a little bit of a friendship, factionship, I don't know what you want to call it, forming here.
But so then what do you do with Von Wagner? Now you've clearly lost your challenges towards the North American title.
I don't know.
Lost your challenges towards the world title. You now lost to Odyssey Jones, who just came back. Like, where do you go here?
Odyssey,
you're supposed to be the big guy of NXT, and you proceeded to lose 3 big kind of pushes in a row.
Yeah, it's interesting what happens here now with, like, to your point, Von Wagner. I'm sorry, Javier. I don't know why this guy gets so much fucking airtime. Fucking the third member of Los Lobos. Main event. Ooh, what about it?
Well, CJ, I think, is talking about to where we end up getting Mandy Rose moving up to the main roster solo.
Moving on up
to the east side.
That's funny. Vaughn will win. Jones won.
Vaughn will win. No, he didn't.
Not today. Bruce should go back to being brother love. Shit, it could work. You got to give him someone to manage, though.
He's got to try and stay on the payroll.
You got to do something, right?
That's probably part of his contract with Vince of, like, I got to be on the payroll somehow, so you might as well use me.
Oh, pause.
What?
What?
Oh, the nature boy, the wheeling dealing, kiss stealing, limousine riding, jet flying, and I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down. We're getting a WWE documentaries of the Nature Boy on.
I feel like we've had a lot of Ric Flair documentaries. I'm curious how this one's going to be different.
Right, because they burnt out on the Hulk Hogan.
Oh, look. It's already different. They got his best friend, Mike Tyson, on the show.
My style is impetuous.
Right? Bro, these rumors are ridiculous at this point. They're saying that Sasha joins Bullet Club in New Japan. Oh, my God, I love this shit. And, I mean, the reports are funny because they'll say to somebody, like, hey, what do you think of Sasha joining the Bullet Club? And he'd be like, that's freaking awesome. And then they're like, whoever it was. Fuck. I can't remember who they reported, but it's this funny, clickbait manipulation of headlines where it's nothing. People are taking one sentence out of an entire interview, taking context out of things, taking old news and reusing it just to get clicks. Like, it's fucking funny. What?
Hand up. So my whole thing with this is, again, like you were saying, with context of no one's really said. So I've very rarely seen anyone saying Sasha's making an actual appearance, that she will just be in attendance. She will be there. Congratulations. We've also got WWE, Impact, AW, New Japan talent all working on the same card. New Japan said to AW, hold my forbidden beer cup when it comes to this whole thing. And it's still, I've seen people report that Sasha is on a per appearance contract when it comes to.
She probably is. 100%.
She's getting paid more than Chris Jericho got paid. The highest paid in New Japan.
Didn't she want like 30 grand just to do like a public appearance? So
I still think this is 100% Papa Paul and WWE and everything. Just a long con. 100%. Think about it. What's getting most of fucking attention right now? Sasha Banks. Hey,
but what people don't.
Hey, New Japan. Remember when you did that whole Forbidden Door pay-per-view with AW and most of their guys went over with you and it didn't do as hot as you thought it would? We just have to mention one of our people are going to show up at your show, and one of our guys, he's reached an agreement. He had to reach an agreement with us to go and defend his title that he has with you over there. And look at the buzz you've gotten. It's night and day.
But everyone's ignoring some obvious facts. And one of the facts about this whole situation with Sasha is the fact that literally, dude, she's still like, oh, Sasha's done with the WWE. Wait a minute. She's still under contract. Have they negotiated the terms of ending that agrement?
That's still iffy. That's still very iffy, I feel, because she's also trademarked a lot of stuff under her
that Monet shit,
her actual Mercedes, all of that, Monet. But it's still, it reeks to me of fire me, you expletive mark, fire me.
I don't see it. It's like Bobby Lashley. I said it live on stream last night. I literally said to the chat, how long before we get Bobby Lashley is all elite out there? 10 seconds.
Right. Yeah. Literally, you saw the memes pop up that
10 seconds
within the hour.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Oh, Bobby Lashley's all elite. Funny. Like, guys, it blows me away. There's just more to the Sasha story. She doesn't just get to up and walk away. And I'm telling you, when it was announced that Sasha was going to appear in New Japan, people made the connection or the thought, well, Tony's associated with New Japan, not WWE. So that means Sasha's going there. And then so-called journalists go ahead and go, this is what happened. This is fact. And it's bullshit. There's nothing to substantiate it. There's nothing to support it. Nobody's talked to Sasha. It's all like a friend of a friend, right?
I do feel it gets to a point, honestly, and I'll say this as we've got TikToks from Nikita Lyons, as we've got Ike Manjiro right now versus Javier.
Sorry, you were speaking
in a you're still on the roster match.
Oh, dude, Bird.
But I feel like certain people need a like once they reach a certain status, they just put whatever they want out there, and they know it's going to carry some weight attached to it.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
no credibility has gone out the goddamn window real quick.
No, I mean, and that's the thing about the like, dude, you know we're gonna read your stories. You know we're gonna see the article. And then you also know that we're gonna read the other articles by actual good reporters and good media representation that tell us what is actually happening. And then you look like a fucking idiot. How are you okay with that consistently doing that?
Because at that point, you've reached the untouchable status. So think about it. Who's really, even as much as we may say something towards Uncle Dave or whatever, and challenge his credibility, what have you, of at the end of the day, it's Dave Meltzer. It's still as much as I like to, I say the what's and everything like that. No matter what I say towards him, Teflon Dave.
Yeah, he doesn't give two shits about us or anything like that.
Right.
It just slides off. Same thing. I tagged Chris Jericho in a criticism today because the post bothered me, and it shouldn't bother
You
me.
mean in a fact? You don't need to say a criticism in a fact,
Right? Like I just tagged him. Like, dude, it is actually insulting to the rest of his career for him to say out loud that this is like the best year of his career. It is insulting to all the good shit you did before this year. That's what bothers me about the whole situation.
Right.
I'm defending Chris Jericho, Y2J, the Lionheart, against whatever the fuck this guy is.
Right.
But on that note, enjoy jackets and Harvey Air. That's horrible.
Thanks. But so yes, folks, you got me for right now as we've got a championship celebration coming up with the New Day and everything. But absolutely, I've got Javier and Eichmann Jiro right now. So if you want to give a prediction in this match, if you care to give a prediction, 100%. If not, if you've got, you want to see how many times I can say what, if you want to sit there and, make sure I don't miss your comment, 100%. You got the super chats and everything. Small Mark says, can't always believe social media. Ronda Rousey was allegedly overseas based on her Instagram post. Then same night showed up at Royal Rumble. Surprised it was a red herring. 100%. It's the same thing of even with the whole Matt Riddle situation going on. It's you constantly see things that on Christ. I can speak as a Yankees fan and everything of what you saw with Aaron Judge of always going to the Giants, and then boom, it was quickly disproven of. It's social media is a blessing and a curse of how quickly you can get information on the people, and at the same time of again how quickly you can get information to people if it's not always 100% accurate. As Jiro gets the 1, 2, 3 for those following along, it never lost the jacket for a second. Nita Creed Brothers versus New Day for the titles match. That's not a bad shout, Small Mark. Sorry. It's interesting to see with the New Day of if they're coming down just for a hot minute, if they're here for, a cup of coffee in the big time, or anything like that. Or if they're just here to actually kind of develop, and maybe this is their kind of second run or third run, what have you, of they're the first team to hold the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. What? The Raw Tag Team Championships. What? And what the Scripps shows up in an even worse mask than he had last time, and he stole the jacket. When you thought you couldn't take a bad gimmick and make it worse, they somehow managed to surprise you. And this what goes back to Hunter saying how he just lets Triple or HBK do what he wants down there. Right. What? But so right now, folks, we're in a commercial break as we're setting up for the New Day Tag Team Championship celebration, like I talked about. They are the first SmackDown Tag Team Championship or SmackDown title holders, Raw Tag Team title holders, NXT Tag Team title holders, 100%. Damien says, I want to see Sasha Banks somewhere else in wrestling. I don't believe it. somewhere else as opposed to WWE, or I'm not sure 100% what you're saying there, Damien. Larry says, I need to smoke. I'm a street puppet. Fair enough. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. How you feel about Sean Ross Sapp? I honestly, John, I trust a good bit of what Sean Ross Sapp says. I think he at least tries to maintain his credibility, as you've seen in any sort of sports, whether it be baseball, NFL, basketball, what have you. You have certain reporters that kind of just say things, or they built up a reputation, and so they can feel like they can say whatever. And then you have reporters that are try to stay as accurate to the facts as they can. Or you even have such as ourselves and everything of our shit is real, our shit is raw, our shit is authentic. Smile Mark says HBK is down a lot. All right. Here to go, huh? The white wedding, what? Yes, we had scripts. So I guess what is everyone's feelings on the whole scripts gimmick? Should they have left Reggie as is? Should they have done something else? Like, who did you expect scripts to be? I guess because I initially thought it was going to be Dijakovic, and then it turns out it's Reggie, the man who I entirely even forgot was on the roster 100%. Breaking news right now: Hulk Hogan just signed a 6-month contract to. I would not be surprised if Hogan did sign a AW contract. I very much have said that at this point it's WCW. All it's missing is Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo, and Hulk Hogan. They've already got Jeff Jarrett. Maybe that, and you get Kevin Nash. You get the 5 horsemen instead of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Actually, Jay White did drop some hints of Sasha Banks possibly joining Bullock. Right. Well, Glenn, to me, it's one of those of course he's going to drop hints towards it. It's going to garner attention. So why not tease at it, even if it's completely unlikely? I've even seen Booker T say about how he thinks that Naomi's going to join AEW. I still think both women are 100% under WWE contracts, and WWE knows that these, extra clicks, these extra views, this extra attention outside of WWE is going to, add to their end line. Oh, so right now I'm getting a video package for Vengeance Day live Saturday, February 4th. And we will be here live, folks, because we have the Wrasslin 4 Live Network. We are here covering anything and everything when it comes to professional wrestling live, whether it's Monday Night Raw, what? Tuesday night NXT, what? Wednesday night Dynamite, what? Thursday night, we got the Let's Rumble podcast and special guest interviews, what? Friday, we've always got the doubleheader show with SmackDown and Rampage, what? And doesn't matter whether it's WWE, what? AEW, what? XPW, what? PCW, what? GCW, what? Wrestling Revolver, what? NWA. We're here covering anything and everything when it comes to professional wrestling. So if you haven't done so already, like, share, and subscribe. 100%. Be a friend, tell a friend. And we even got, super chats and everything like that. So if you want to make sure that I get your comments, or if you want to make sure that I read your watch and you want to see how far, I guess, my what meter can go and everything like that, absolutely. Let me know in the comment section. Always puffing the smoke profits. Absolutely. We want the smoke. What? I probably saw the same interview, Mr. Smith. Fair enough. As I've got a Wendy Chu hype package right now backstage. Talking, the woman comes out in pajamas and she's talking about how she was embarrassed because a drink got thrown in her face. Like, that's your biggest issue with Cora Jade is that she threw a drink in your face. Not that, you actually were taken as a serious wrestler before, but now you come out in pajamas and what have you. But a drink thrown in your face of this is how we're going to keep building a Cora Jade versus Wendy Chu package right now. Hey, Sean, figure out your eyesight. Hulk Hogan is banned. I didn't know Hulk Hogan was banned from AEW. I thought he just wrestled in the name of the Young Bucks. That's what I thought. What do you think about Jon Moxley hosting the first Wrestling Revolver show in Damon? About him hosting it? I mean, you mean it's going to show up? He's going to show up more than he just, smacks somebody in the back of the head and then walks backstage? Because that's really what we've got most of the time when we watch Wrestling Revolver. And that's not saying that it's not a great show. 100%, it's a fantastic promotion. It's just when they advertise Jon Moxley, he shows up for all of 30 seconds at best.
It's the new day.
KJ White. Oh, Wrestling for Life Network. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your new NXT Tag Team Champions of the World.
I instantly go to Road Dogg during that part every time. Like I try and do the Kofi part.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Wrestling for Life. Proudly brings to you. It's NXT Tag Team Champions of the World. Shout out Xavier with the Rey Mysterio button up.
What's up, Bobby?
Bobby, what up? Lauren, what up? Lisa, what up? Damon, what up?
About something you recently said. You recently made a comment. The young Bucks are the Hulk Hogan of AEW. Is it the Young Bucks or is it Chris Jericho?
No, Chris Jericho's the Chris Jericho of it.
Fair enough.
Right. This is the same man who fought Goldberg backstage and everything over, positioning on the card.
Right.
You haven't learned, Chris. You haven't learned somehow, I feel.
No, the problem is it's like other people. We've seen it in the past where it's like Russo. Like Jericho's become like the new age Russo in the sense that when Russo was with Vince, he had somebody to go, no, we're not doing that. And then when they cut him loose on WCW and nobody was to stop him, we got Viagra on a pole. That's Jericho, where when he was in a structure with smart people around him, there was people to kind of help him with his vision. When he gets to do whatever he wants, he's jumping off the fucking cages into cardboard boxes.
See, well, no, actually, fair enough of how you mentioned about Hulk Hogan and everything, as we've got Kofi, Aaron, and Xavier cutting a promo in the ring right now. The Young Bucks are Hogan and WCW. Chris right now is Hogan and Impact of just, I know I don't have really anything left in the tank, but I know that there's dollar signs still there. I want all of the monies of, I don't care if I need to slow down Bandito. I don't care if I need to fucking do the shittiest finish in professional wrestling and tap out to a swing, what have you. As long as I'm getting paid, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, I'm okay if he pulls, he mails it in and he's collecting a paycheck and he doesn't do a whole lot, fine. But it's him being like marqueed and then everyone around him being like, isn't he wonderful? Isn't he great? Wasn't that amazing? And he's like, yeah, I really am great. I really am. Aren't I, guys? Like, that's where I think it's soured for me is that type of pretentiousness is just bleh.
Oh, I was going to say, fact checkers, or maybe we'll come up with this for our end of the year awards and everything of not even just exactly Chris, but 100%. How many times has Chris Jericho main evented AEW Dynamite and or Rampage? How many times has he main evented AEW Weekly Television? Because I feel like it's probably the most out of anyone on that roster. And that's not saying at all that he deserved that.
Right. Oh, Wood just pointed out he never had an NXT championship of any kind.
As I have Kofi twerking.
Right, of course. Omega is supposed to be the Hogan of AEW on paper, but he's just right. Title reign that never got off to a good start. Better than Rosa title run, though. Yeah, no, it was better than Rosa, but it wasn't.
I see your Hulk Hogan and raise you Kevin Nash.
Ah, touche.
Right.
Oh,
pushed himself to be the top guy. Was backstage the most, but just always seemed to somehow not manage to really have it click.
Right. Santa's here in attendance.
Well, we had, what was it? A deadline. We had Santa and Jesus there. Yeah, we had the big JC and Santa. And now we've got Pretty Deadly. One walking out of the wardrobe of Velveteen Dream, and the other very much looking like needs to be a maximum male model, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Should Tamina go to NXT or AEW?
She should be on TV. Let's start there.
You think she should?
Well, I'm fully aboard the Tamina train. Pause. Well, really? It's also interesting of how we had, the tryouts when it comes to WWE, and now we're going to have Kylie Ray, who AEW talent and everything that just said, I don't want any part of this. That's now going to be featured on, I believe, tonight's episode of Main Event.
Yes. What I want to happen, what I think should happen is Kylie Ray comes to the main roster and does Bayley's old gimmick. Give her the fucking wacky
hugger.
Yeah, make her the hugger, and just be over the top baby.
Wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing too, man.
And have Bayley fucking snap. Bayley's got to beat up somebody sometime.
Right, at some point.
Yeah, I don't know about Tamina. I mean, I feel like Tamina's been there forever. Like forever.
Make her part of the bloodline.
Do something with her, or she's sort of, I hate to say it, irrelevant. But the few times
she said irrelevant, as I had Brooks and Jensen there. Brooks and Dunn come out on my screen.
So Brooks and Dunn won a title shot. Oh, they found a flag.
We're going to get a triple threat, and the New Day is going to win, because then if you're the New Day and you lose, how do you really regain credibility competing against like the Usos? Potentially if FTR comes back.
But if Brooks and Dunn pin Pretty Deadly, or Pretty Deadly pins Brooks and Dunn, then
I hate the stereotypical triple threat match setup of like, okay, so and so can't take a pin, so and so has got to take the pin, so who's gonna win out of those two? Flip a fucking coin.
They're doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the one nation under Wrasslin.
Eurovision puking in their nose. Hogan versus Sting at Bound for Glory, a classic wrestling showdown, if memory serves me correct.
Which is better, that or Hogan versus Warrior at Halloween Havoc '98?
Oh, the Warrior,
the flash paper to end.
That's way down there, dude. I got to give my boy that. I mean, I think Sting, the overall situation with Sting and Hogan and TNA at that time, it was better than whatever the fuck happened with Warrior in WCW, especially. I remember I was such a big Warrior fan, and then he got to WCW, the Renegade, and we were like, wait, what?
Right.
What was happening? And then
and we've got Mandy Rose cosplaying as Nikki Bella right now.
Oh, good. I would have given Scripps the flying pharmacist gimmick, no mask. Yo, by the way, you ever see that video going around where like the monkey jumps off the building, but he does that flip and it's like, oh my God, John Cena. Have you seen that clip at all? That was the exact
movie King Kong.
Yeah, maybe. But that's the exact
Right? What?
Chris just jumped into the ring, grabbed him by the collar, and chucked him out of nowhere, unprovoked. You didn't see him coming. It was pretty cool. But
And his name is JD McDonagh.
JD here, who's an anatomy specialist, is what we've established with JD.
Well, again, it's interesting now. I know we got on about it with the black and gold or the rainbow brand or what have you, but now there's still that very much that crop that you look at and you're like, all right, so when are you going to move up?
Yeah,
Speaking
I don't know.
of John Cena.
Right? Well, I don't know. But Chris Jericho got his Y2J name from Vince. Chris wanted to name it his finisher. See? So it helps. I mean, you have good people around you for a reason.
Right. Well, no, I was just saying, speaking of John Cena, so we're getting I'm getting at least a tribute to the troops video package.
That's this weekend.
Narrated by Cena. So I'm sure we're getting that coming up soon.
Mick Foley always plays Santa in WWE because he plays Santa in real life.
Because Mick Foley is fascinating. This Saturday at 2:30 on Fox. Yeah. So, at least of one of the things we'll be doing on Saturdays here covering tribute to the troops.
He's right. We'll be here. He's not wrong. I just like how he didn't even hesitate. He's like, it's on. We're there.
Right. Well, at this point, it's a given at this point. But no, Mick Foley is very much one of those people that's obsessed with Santa Claus. And I guess, spoiler alert for those new around here, my wife has met Mick Foley and then proceeded to show me how she met Mick Foley while I was live on stream talking about the wrestling and everything.
Yeah, no, that's still, folks, if you guys weren't around then, one of my favorite moments ever on this channel was the moment that Nick realized his wife had just sent him a picture of Mick Foley standing next to her while he was doing this. And the look on this man's, I didn't know what he was looking at, but I knew it had struck him in such a way.
Well, I was right here with the Wrasslin for Life Network.
I sacrificed Mick Foley for you people. We are in a commercial break, by the way. Still an amazing story. But
no, that's fine. But while we're in a commercial break here, I'm going to take a nice.
You're going to take a pause. Nick's going to go for a walk. And that being said, go give your wife a kiss. But that being said, folks, we are in a commercial, and we're rolling along. We're about just past the hour mark for NXT tonight. I will remind everybody we will be back tomorrow. AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. War has arrived. War is here. Whatever you want to say. We got, we're going back to the best out of 7 series for the trios titles. Man, we are getting Ricky Starks, MJF. I'm really excited about this match. I really love what happened with these two young stars last week. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the wrestling tomorrow night. We will be the alternative commentary tomorrow night here. Thursday, we got the Rumble. Friday, we got a doubleheader. Saturday, tribute to the troops. Saturday evening, more shit to cover. We are here all the time, folks. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared, the best thing you could ever do for us is just share the little link. We appreciate it. We are completely humbled. And anybody that's touched that super chat here tonight or last night, thank you so much. Again, flattered, absolutely flattered. So we got Jensen and Briggs, Brooks and Dunn. We just need Hank and the Tank. Hank the Tank could conceivably join them. I don't know. To me, Kylie Ray seems to be a knockoff. That's what I just said. Yeah, Chris. Completely agree with you, buddy. Bailey, that's what I think. It would be funny to kind of do maybe for some of the fans out there. You remember when Mickie James first came on the scene at WWE? She was very much a stalker of Trish. Not a mimic of Trish, but very much wanted, like a diehard fan. So Kylie Ray could kind of do that to our buddy Bailey, but I still think we're going to get more Kylie Ray in NXT before the main roster. I think Mick Foley is Santa. She's in the PC training. Absolutely. JD McDonagh versus Cena. I mean, except JD McDonagh is the size of John Cena's leg. I don't know, Chris. Maybe could work. I don't want to discredit JD, but I just don't see that at the top of my list. My favorite WrestleMania 1. There you go, Bobby. Classic. What is this? So there's Elektra, Lash Legend. Elektra just gets kicked in the face. Is that Cora? No. Indy. So we got a cat fight. Well, and now we're going back to the ring. All right, folks, get your predictions in. JD McDonagh, Brutus Creed. Who do you got? Who are you taking tonight? What is your prediction for this match? Winter is Coming always reminds me of Game of Thrones, of course, because that's where they hijacked it from. All right. Brutus bulldogs into the ring. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, that is kind of where they got the whole idea. But Tony likes to do stuff at Winter is Coming. Obviously, the biggest one we can think of probably would be Sting. But he generally likes to make Winter is Coming a good event, a good night. So we'll see what he has up his sleeve this week. Bring back backstage cat fights. Well, we just got one. There's just a lot of random scraps in NXT, and they just fade away from them. That's the interesting part. But right now we got JD McDonagh and Brutus. Brutus knows selling the big forearm. Oh, JD. I hope Creed wins. Saturday afternoon, 2:30 on Fox. Lauren, guess where we'll be? Right here. We're always here. That's what we do. Got JD for the win. Bum, bum, bum. I got JD as well. I mean, the vast majority went with JD. Yes, I do believe JD takes this win. All right, so Brutus does interesting things. He's just clubbing this man. So Brutus crawls on his knuckles and then proceeds to club. That's an interesting point just made. But is anyone out there surprised? Truly, JD McDonagh got no points in the Iron Survivor match. Are we surprised? John says he wins. JD wins. If they split the creeds, Bray pick up Brutus. Oh, folks, my apologies. My head just exploded, and this is what happens when you are live 7 days a week, most weeks. But, yeah, sorry about that. JD wins, got that one. I don't want them to split the creeds, and I don't know if Brutus really fits. I guess you could change him a little. He's so high school jockish. It would be hard to picture him with Bray. The Ruby Soho versus Tay finally ends tomorrow night. Oh, yeah, with another broken nose. I would put money that's a very mean-spirited, but I mean, I could see it happening. I was convinced that Ty purposely kicked Ruby in the face last time. I felt like there was some intent behind it. That's how rumors get started, folks. It's just accusations. All right, JD McDonagh kicks the other Creed in the face. And here comes Brutus. JD out of the way. NXT is the closest thing to the Attitude Era. Yeah, kind of. I mean, oddly enough, I feel like AEW is kind of the closest thing to And I mean, not the best parts of the Attitude Era where like everything's over and great. I just mean from the chaos of shit was just happening everywhere. I feel like that's where they're trying to get NXT. Like, very much, it's just fucking boom, 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 boom. It doesn't stop. Like, there's no real breaks in the moments. They just, oh, wait, Sanga and Veer are here. See what I mean? Shit's just happening. Brutus, no surprise to me, thank goodness. Ricky Starks, Ruby Soho will win hands down. I hate to break your heart, Lauren, but you got a problem. Both of them might lose, and one of them's definitely going to lose. Wouldn't Ruby want to come back to WWE? Hey, listen, Nick, my buddy Nick keeps saying it. He said it over and over and over again. Ruby's looking back in her rear view thinking, shit, look at Liv, look at Sarah, look at me. Another broken nose, another dark match. So, yeah, I mean, oh, okay. JD got the win, by the way. It was odd. Sanga stopped JD from using a chair under the premise that Veer and Sanga want the Creeds 100%. And JD still picked up the win. So go figure. JD pins Brutus. Not cool, Lisa says. There you go. Oh, we're in the back with Zoe Stark now. See, it's just go, go, go. I hope on Dynamite Starks wins the title tomorrow. Bobby, I don't see it happening. I apologize. It would be crazy if it did. I don't see it happening. I think Ricky Starks is excellent. I've been beating the Ricky Starks drum for a long time, but I don't see MJF giving up that belt anytime soon. All right. There you go. So Starks is saying she wants Lions in the ring. There you go. We're finally going to get Starks versus Lions. And now we're getting another vignette for Lyra Valkyria or whatever the fuck. Not Taya Valkyria. Not Valkyria. Man, we were hoping it was Taya Valkyrie. Nope. Do not split the Creeds. They have too much potential. Learn from Alpha Academy and Team Angle. You need a dominant tag team to run the next couple of years to take over the Usos. Creeds 2023. I agree. I mean, we talk so often. Hey, look, the Street Profits are getting over. When are we breaking them up? When's Montez Ford going on his own? Hey, we were talking earlier about breaking up. What was the other tag team we were talking about breaking up? The Creeds, but you can't do it. Oh, I think we were talking about. Was it the Acclaim we were talking about? It doesn't matter. But a lot of times people just want like that moment. Like, look, I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling. I want to see the tag team division be bolstered and have consistent tag teams in it. I find it like really irritating when you just have, slap together tag team, they go on a run, hand it back off. Now, I like what the Usos have done. The Usos have dominated that tag team title for a long time now, and time will tell, but they got to build up that division. I think tag team wrestling, when it's done right, is outstanding. So we could use a lot more of it. There's no need to break up the Creeds. There's no need to break up Brooks and Dunn. There's no need to break up any young tag team. Let them do something before you break them up. Right? Let them accomplish some things. Like even the Street Profits, they haven't really done shit as a tag team. Give them a little bit of time. Attitude Era, I would say, is NXT's closest terms of shenanigans. All right, fair enough. Fair enough, kind of. Does JD look remind you of Chris Benoit? Kinda. Yeah, stature and such. Not as yeah. I'm waiting for Indy to be up to Raw. A lot of people are talking about Indy going up to Raw, Lauren. I don't know. I mean, is she ready? She just kicked Elektra Lopez in the face. That's a good start. Indy's kind of been floating around. I mean, I picked her to win the Iron Survivor Challenge. I thought maybe there was a chance that she would just take it, but apparently not. I don't know what we're going to do with Indy. I mean, they put the way back together. Why not send her up and let her hang out with the other three? Minus Theory, the fam's all here. JD reminds me of Jamie Noble. Okay. I get that. I get it. An Irish Jamie Noble, not bad. Stark's going to take the L, though I see it being a solid 4-star match. Could we get more than one match between them? I mean, if you want to keep them kind of busy, if the main title's kind of tied up at the moment, you could give them a few matches, guys. But I think it's going to be. I agree with you. I agree that it's going to be a good match. All right. So now we're getting an Isla Dawn vignette, promo, or package, whatever you want to call it. Not bad. I'm a big fan of Dawn. I like what she's doing. I like this rivalry between Alba and her. Who do you think wins tonight? Damien Kemp or Duke Hudson? Duke Wellington. It's hard because we haven't done shit with Kemp in a while. Kemp could get the win. He should get the win. Yeah, I'll go Damien Kemp. I just can't go for Duke Wellington. Can't do it. Isla's intense. Are we surprised that she cut a promo on Alba even though she just beat her? So I guess that's not done yet. Shout out Scraggs and Steins and all the Irish lads. Maybe we'll get not Lyra on. You never know. But yeah, big shout out to all the Irish fellows that have stopped by this channel. We've become the unofficial Irish wrestling outlet here at the Wrasslin for Life Network. So yeah, big shout out to all the boys, AJ as well. That's AJ Scraggs, Steins, all of them, everybody. Indy should go to SmackDown, not Raw. Keep her away from the way. Yeah, probably better for her. All right. Valkyria is in the ring. And it's raining. Okay. I was about to smack my TV on the side. I thought I was getting static. Good old days. Just smack the TV. Larry, she needs to be back with an Index. I mean, that is a possibility. I don't know what Index versus Ms. and Mrs. All right. So if you guys want to get a prediction in, I mean, why would not Lyra win this one? I have no idea. No, JD McDonagh is Balor. All right. Balor's not a bad show, John. I like that one. I see where you're going. Lyra for the win. Larry, she needs to be back with Index. Got that one. I mean, we'll stay off that particular topic. It's a little dark and sad. And yeah, got that one. All right, we're doing all right. Dale's got Lyra for the win. Lyra Valkyria. Oh, drop kick to the outside. I don't know how I feel about this lady yet. Oh, we almost forgot. Good shout. Yeah, I got you, bro. If Indy goes back, she'll go her own way. She should go her own way, but I think Indy going up to the main roster on her own, she gets swallowed. Pause. Yeah, I just think she's a small fish in a giant pond in that case. What train? Let it go, folks. Wait, you're not even on. Do I have to do your what's for you? What? Let's go. A buck of what? A buck of what? Go Lyra. Bobby's going for Lyra. Indy to Raw. That sounds funny, actually. It sounds like an After Hours movie. If Ruby takes the then come home. If Ruby takes the then goes home and reform the Riot Squad. Oh, okay. So if Ruby leaves and goes back to WWE, but I mean, here's the question. I'll put it out to everyone out watching right now. About 30 people kicking around. Guys, do you feel like too often we work like going back to something that used to happen isn't always the best answer? And sometimes, yeah, Ruby coming back would be cool, but to just take Liv from what she's doing and take Sarah and do it all over again, I don't know. Maybe if the time's right, might work, but it's interesting, right? Or is it just Ruby, Liv, and Valhalla at that point? Maxi Impaler. What? Thank you, Nick. Oh, there you go. Lyra with the win. What'd she do off the top ropes? I looked away. I blinked. Valkyria. WWE does not need Sasha Banks. They got Amari Miller. There you go, Stan. The first part of that sentence is accurate. I believe the WWE does not need Sasha Banks. I believe that Sasha Banks seems difficult. I believe that Sasha Banks does not come off as a team player. I believe that Sasha Banks is bigger in her head than she really is. And I love Snoop Dogg. I don't care that Sasha's his cousin. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean, I really think that Sasha could go to AEW for that reason, because if she goes to AEW, she's a gigantic shark in a small pond. The opposite of what we're talking about with Index or Indie. But for me, Sasha going back into the WWE, she gets lost in that shuffle again of the Charlottes, the Beckys, the Baileys, the shit. You got what's her face? G.I. Joe coming back, G.I. Jane. It'll come back to me. Lacey Evans. But you got a lot of talented women. We haven't even talked about Dakota Kai Asuka's getting a new character. Nikki Ash as crazy is good. Candice LeRae at some points, she kind of hasn't gotten over with me, but she has potential to be a baby face. We got so much talent out there. I don't know if I'm that stressed about Sasha Banks. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. People unsubscribing. Fuck this guy. Lauren, you're welcome. Okay. What's up, Big Tom? How you doing, buddy? Valkyrie won. Yes.
I believe that we will win. I think with how many times you said I believe, so that's right.
I believe.
I can't say the joke that I'm thinking in my head because I like being on YouTube.
Right. What happened to Indy's partner that got released? I forgot her name. Her best friend. What was that? Oh, come on. Oh, you're still choking back there, right? Breathe.
Yeah, it was She was paired up a little bit with Duke Hudson when Indy got released initially.
Yeah, but then who was her best friend that they didn't like Duke? It'll come back to me.
Discount Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, pretty much. Go Lyra. We got all these ones. Sasha's full of herself. Pause.
Accusations.
Nah. I see Index together on Raw. Could be.
Same. I that's where I view this whole thing going of
Misery.
100%. I think I felt like that of this whole Miz Dexter storyline's been a little weird. So I mean, might as well fuck it at this point.
Right? Absolutely. I mean, just let it go. Why not just go?
Well, speaking of what is coming, let it go.
Let it go. Speaking of Isla Dawn.
Oh, God.
Different name? My bad. Thank you, Bobby.
Well, it's funny how you mentioned about with Lyra Valkyrie, of how when we initially everybody heard that name, like, oh, Taya Valkyrie's coming back. That's their way to do that, right? And it's like, nope.
Right. Smile Mark, I won't read this one out loud, but I definitely felt that vibe for sure when I read it. So thank you for picking up what I was putting down.
Persia Rada. Thank you, Jason.
Persia. Indy and Persia, yeah.
Yeah, because
a game, I get it.
Profiling.
What else we got, folks? Keep the chat going. Thank you for being here. We are back in a commercial with about 25 minutes left. Big Nick, KJ White, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I know we've harked and we've kind of, talked about okay, Sean, which fucking camera monitor are you actually looking at and everything?
Right.
But overall, it hasn't been a bad NXT. NXT's had those moments to where it's either it's solid and you 100% want to tune in, and there's ones where it's like, okay, so what else the fuck is going on in wrestling? Let's talk about that.
Right. Well, here's the thing I find with NXT is one, the pace in which the show moves, it never feels boring. Even if you're not really if you're not invested in a lot of it, which I'm not, it's still like, and you're following along, like you're following the bouncing ball because it just clipped from one thing. Like we get a backstage fight, we don't know what happened. They're still fighting. We go back to the ring, which I mean, technically, if a backstage fight broke out, the cameras wouldn't stay with the backstage fight. The producer would be like, get back to the ring. So I appreciate what they're trying to accomplish. The problem I have is I won't remember anything that happened on this show by tomorrow morning at the latest.
Fair enough, because I've got Brooks Jensen right now with Kiana James of how in the Rudy Blue hell did you get in that elimination match there?
Yeah, how did she slide in there?
Because lack of depth.
But we just said they had a really good division
on the main roster.
Oh, touche.
Well, no shit.
What do you think against Starks and Lions?
Again, I guess that's where you. Well, I feel like they miss people like Nikita Lyons wasn't involved really.
Does that surprise you?
Yes, honestly.
Lyons, Starks were was Starks in it?
No, Starks was in it.
Yes, she was. Okay, I almost said she wasn't. Why wasn't Lyons in it?
And Kiana James got a Secret Santa for Brooks Jensen here, and. Hey, congratulations. You got your first actual collared shirt.
There you go. I looked at you and I knew what size you were.
All right, so I guess then, folks, if you want to make sure that, I or KJ or CJ or whoever can actually get a collared shirt and everything, make sure to hit that super chat. Why?
Right? That's too funny.
I try. Oh. Toxic Attraction coming out. So again, like you said, we're going to get a triple threat because we've got all three teams just having at it backstage right now.
Yeah.
And not William Regal, but the exact same haircut as William Regal. Break everything apart. And I love all the memes that I've seen of like, when you're Triple H, but you
Right.
realize that William Regal can't say War Games until 2024.
No, there's a workaround. You have videotape of him doing it.
He just blank screen and he just voices it over.
You just put him up on the
He can't be
Titantron.
on screen.
War Games. They're like, he said
Right.
it. You're like, that's not him.
But we've got Duke Hudson versus Damon Kemp right now. So, folks, give us your prediction for this. I'm taking Duke Hudson, aka
You're taking Wellington?
Gambit of NXT.
Okay, I took Damon Kemp, so I'll stick to it. But yeah, I just can't bet for Duke Wellington. It's tough.
I don't. To me, every time I look at him, I think Wade Barrett.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
100% of that's the feeling, the vibe I get. And it's interesting of how we're adding this depth and this kind of, I guess, international flair, I guess, towards SmackDown. How they had the World Cup of we focus on the Intercontinental title and we make it international and everything. How a guy like Duke Hudson
let an American win it.
Well, do you think Rick? Well, actually, no. We have a Austrian versus an Irishman. We have Ricochet.
True, he had the luck of the Irish on his side. I forgot
Exactly. Which, spoiler alert, I guess, when it comes to World Cup, I'm going for Team Morocco. But hey, I got homies and everything from Morocco, so I guess shout out Saad. But yeah, 100%. I'm going for Team Morocco.
Did you look up people on Facebook that live in Morocco just to pull this shout out?
No, I legit. I went to high school and everything. And spoiler alert, almost joined a fraternity and everything. With a homie who was from Morocco and everything. What?
A Moroccan fraternity?
No, a fucking college fraternity. Yes. Unlike Canada, we actually have college fraternities instead of university fraternities and what have you.
I mean, we have college stuff too.
You have university.
Well, we have colleges. They just, I don't want to say.
They call themselves universities.
I'm here. We have both. I went to a college.
Fine. No, I'm just, you're over here saying, "Oh no, you just found somebody on Facebook."
Like Canadian dictionary over here,
and it's just sorry.
No, we got both.
Sorry.
I feel like it doesn't matter. We're not getting into this one. That's not exciting.
Right. Go ahead.
Lucha Party return to WWE? No.
Lucha, chase you. Same thing.
Right? Sin Cara and Kalisto. The AEW, all over them. They were AEW before AEW was AEW.
Now it's going to be interesting, though, because we got the Ring of Honor Club and everything come back, and supposedly we're going to get that split for the Ring of Honor actual roster versus the AEW roster. So who ends up, on the Ring of Honor side and who ends up on the AEW side? If I'm Tony Khan and if I'm going to fully mark out of all to like the early 2000s, late 90s wrestling and everything, I do a draft.
Oh.
Honestly, at this point of how do you, it almost, if you just send someone to Ring of Honor, at this point, it almost feels like a demotion. But if you do it like it's a draft and you make a general managers of both divisions or both companies, what have you.
You just lost the perfect guy to do it too, like as far as one of
right. Well, that man just decided I'm going to be a VP as Duke Hudson picks up the 1, 2, 3.
I want to spend time with my son, but I would like to do it as a well-paid.
I want to spend time with my son that most people that watch him don't know is my son. I want to help him. I want to help other people remember that he is my son.
Well, there you go. Duke Welly for the win. Damien Kemp, what do we do with him? We saw,
I was about to say, not well done.
Well done.
Well done. Speaking of well done, we've got Mandy Rose versus Roxanne Perez, Roxy, for the NXT Women's Championship coming up next out of this commercial break here. So, folks, I guess we're in the last 15 minutes or so or anything. So any sort of off-topic wrestling stuff, not NXT, not tonight stream related, whatever. Get it in before we, are focusing on the main event here.
I have no idea what he said, but do what he said. But yeah,
sure,
get your votes in, folks. Your predictions in for the main event, Mandy Rose, the Roxy. It's going to be a good one. And some people are, our boy CJ showed up and he literally was like, Mandy's going to go up. So it would be a shock if that happens tonight.
Would it really be a shock, though, at this point? Because, well, who else takes the title off of Mandy? Jade, Zoe, both heels. Nikita coming off of an injury because she pretended to be Stewart from Matt TV. Look what I can do.
I'd give it to Lions before I give it to Roxy.
Right, but she's
I give it to Indy before
injured. She did the look what I can do.
Yeah. Did you see that? Oops.
100%. She's Stewart from fucking Matt TV. Look what I can do. And no, not good. Right. But so who else on NXT right now do you give the title to? Unless you're gonna do the GG
why Roxy?
Title off of Mandy. Why Roxy?
Yeah.
Because she's gonna stay in developmental for a hot minute.
Oh, she will. I mean, it's definitely, and then she'll have things, Cora Jade will go after Rock again. I mean,
right.
It could work.
You could get an Ava Rain.
It's not a surprise because after all this time, and again, you do have athletes like Starks. Yes, she's a heel now, but she was there. You have, Lions. You do have some other names that have been kind of in the mix. Roxy had her chance. Now circling back, I mean, if she's the one that does it, it's going to be huge for her. It really puts her over. And, a lot of the I guarantee a lot of the NXT fan base don't really know who Roxy is or how she got here.
Right. And what comes around is all around Ricky and everything. I guess speaking of Ricky even too, of when it comes to say MJF of if, when, what have you, he loses the title, I think we get someone, whether it be Ricky Starks of spoiler alert, I guess for predictions, when it comes to winners coming, that they lose their initial title run and then they come full circle and end up taking it. I feel like that's kind of where we're at with a Roxy. And again, like I said, she's somebody who's going to stay in NXT. She's going to stay in developmental.
Right.
I feel like we're going to start seeing this trend of once they lose the title, you're almost halfway waiting for them to get called up. Because it's now at this point done their service. You've done your time.
Right. But they kind of set that pattern for a while, but we'll see what's and we'll definitely see tonight. I want to see Toxic Attraction against Damage Control. Would be all right.
Right.
I love this. Fake channel buy. No, we really do exist. This is real. It's happening right now.
I don't know what else I need to prove to you that I'm real. What? Right. What?
Ernie Shell.
Am I real? What? Well,
thank you for coming, Ernie. Have a good night.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Where is CJ? With your mama? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh! He said,
I don't know.
Not me. The thoughts and opinions of one Mr. KJ White. In that point, only represent Mr. KJ White, not the Wrestling Board Network.
I kid because I love. It's all right. It's all right. We are probably on one of our last commercial breaks, folks. Like I said, get your predictions in for the main event tonight. And I hope everyone's got a smile on their face. We will be back tomorrow for Winter is Coming. Nick, we're down the home stretch. Who you taking in the main event? You kind of already told us.
Yeah, Roxy.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll just go Mandy to be difficult, but this is compelling. This is very interesting. In the words,
it's interesting. It's something I didn't see happening tonight 100%. Oh, and countdown to New Year, on January 10th so countdown to New Year after New Year. What?
Dude, what kind of New Year's party did you have if you didn't count down until the 10th?
Were you that inebriated from the New Year's party? You're like, oh shit, it's actually January 10th. I thought, the zero after it, I thought it just was the other way and just 0-1.
Right. No, Chinese.
Carmelo Hayes versus Axiom next week. And we're getting
Triple
The
threat.
New
for the
Day
tag titles.
versus Brooks and Jensen, or Brooks and Dunn. What? For the NXT Tag Team Championships next week.
It's going to be a good one. I mean, we're getting a triple threat for the women's as well.
Fair enough.
Roxy, my baby Mandy, keep talking about she wants to go back up to the main roster. All right, Stan, there's a lot to unpackage there, but yeah, he picked Mandy. I mean, he picked Roxy.
Who did he pick?
I don't know. It took me a second.
Right, I was going to say, dear Mandy, I wrote you, but you still... But I think Roxanne Perez, Roxy, 100% wins this match. Of
Uber, baby.
She almost has a ready-made gimmick and a ready-made image package, everything for NXT to be a long-termer there. Of guys like a Tommaso Ciampa, what have you, of you almost are like, I almost at this point don't want them to move up because I feel like they'll get lost in the shuffle there. So just stay where you're at. I feel like Roxanne Perez, Roxy could 100% do that.
Send Lacey Evans on NXT. I don't know.
Her and Dominic can just skip there.
Why her and Dominic?
You're gonna act like we haven't said Dominic 18 million times.
No, he's a mainstay now. He got mommy. He
goes
where mommy goes.
The man got misted in the face, and all of a sudden he's amazing.
Oh my god, the mist in the face spot was ridiculous.
The best line still was Damian Priest. Best line he said in WWE since he's been there. Of don't worry, it could always be worse. Something else could be burning. Why?
Now, here comes Mandy.
Cosplaying as the third Bella.
Well, a couple people, apparently she said she was not. This is her look. This has nothing to do with the Bellas.
Yeah. Sure. Keep saying that, sweetheart. You look like if Chris Stratus and the Bellas had a child.
That was awkward.
What?
Yeah, no, exactly. Dana Brooke back down to NXT might not be a bad shout. She might actually find a way to get back over with me. I mean, Scripps is there.
Reunited and it feels so good.
Like, let's go.
Does she go to main event first and then she has to work her way on NXT?
I would put her back on NXT. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Like, that's her only hope because she's never going to what the fuck is she going to do in the blender that is the women's
Help me,
division?
Shawn Michaels. You're my only hope.
Right? So you put her down, and I mean, kind of like Mandy, where Mandy was like fluttering and kind of lost in the mix. She goes down here. She's a superstar. Maybe it works for Dana. I don't know.
Do you feel though then does, and I guess we can ask this question. Maybe this becomes its own little solo video, what have you. Of does WWE at this point need at least a roster shakeup, if not a whole draft, if we're going to have people of guys like Apollo, example, like Nakamura, example, that have maybe been lost, misused, mistreated on the main roster that could use that restart or that refresh like Mandy Rosa's had, etc. Or there's guys on the main roster like Carmella, or on NXT like Carmelo Hayes, like Nikita Lyons, like Zoe Starks, like Bron Breakker, that could use that shout up and to make room.
That's a good point. And I mean, I thought that we were going to get a draft, like everyone else did. Right. I still think a draft is in order. I think you need to settle this down. You have to develop some type of parameters in which these shows run. Are there certain people that can go from show to show? Fine, but you do need some continuity per brand.
Right.
You really do.
100%. But folks, right now we've got Roxanne Perez versus Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. Let us know your predictions if you haven't already. Right now, it's honestly back and forth between Mandy and Roxanne. Oh, and next week we're getting Zoe Starks versus Nikita Lyons. So
next week is stacked.
Do you think that this is NXT trying to compete with the other three-lettered company that works within the same week that they do?
Well, maybe they're just trying to up their game. I mean, again, it's that theory of like where I said about NXT. Put it this way: AEW, I said, is like right on that cusp. If if the numbers and the ratings for Raw are coming down to 1.5 and flirting with as low as 1.2, AEW could push past the threshold and be very close.
I think could, but they get 8.6s, they get 8.5s.
So NXT kind of in the same. Yeah, NXT ends up in that same vein, Nick, where you have them. You see AEW Dynamite do an 8.6, right? 8.5, 8.4. So you load up some cards. You put NXT down there. What if NXT does 900,000 this week? What will be said? How will people feel about it? Does it even matter? You wanted to brag you beat our developmental, or our developmental just had a better Tuesday than you had a Wednesday.
I still find that hilarious with Hunter it's our developmental, but it's not our developmental, and back and forth.
No, time out, but realistically, dude, let's be straight up. Guys like John Moxley, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, the list goes on. The big names in AEW beat what? Tony D'Angelo, Ciampa at the time, who was on his way out. You know what I mean? They didn't exactly beat giants. That's what Triple's point is, and he's right. Good match, by the way.
Absolutely, as we're in another commercial break. But yeah, it's one of those of you put Roman Reigns in the bloodline versus the elite segments and see how well they do. And I get 3 years versus 60 plus years, and I get every sort of excuse, shield, defense, what have you, you're going to get for it. But at the end of the day, you had AEW that could have made that move, and now they've backslid. And I feel a little bit of wrestling as a whole is backslid a little.
Right. I think Mandy retains because the promo of Vengeance Day is still Mandy. I agree with Chris.
Card subject to change.
She's the poster girl for the fucking thing.
So is Bron. Card subject to change.
Also, countdown to New Year's is Tiffany Stratton. But why is it on January 10th? Is it because she's blonde? Is that a blonde joke? What is happening?
Next question. I don't want to comment.
Was it an accusation?
Accusation.
With Chris. What? Toxic attraction is the attraction. As if. No, they really are, Bobby. They really are, Bobby.
Words. 100% I feel toxic attraction. If they were missing from the NXT women's roster, the women's division, who are you tuning in for? Who are you excited for? Who are you really clamoring to watch outside of Nikita Lyons? Really?
I mean, it's not all downhill, but there is a gap.
I'm not saying it's all downhill, but I'm saying if you're the casual audience, if you're tuning in to toxic attraction based on that mindset, if they're gone,
they've been the face of this show since more so than Bron Breakker, because Bron Breakker hasn't really found that charisma yet. He's a big bulky guy that can throw people around, but you give him a microphone, we're not exactly sitting on the edge of our seat listening to the guy. He's got a bit of Scotty in him where we're like, what?
I swear those cows spoke English.
Oh, that was the best shit. What?
But that's a what moment if there's ever a what moment.
Right.
But we're back from commercial break with Mandy Rose with a
chat. I love it.
Arm lock on Roxanne. What? But there might be a twisty Roxy tonight. Oh, I had to read the last two words there. Otherwise, it's like, what type of cocktail are you ordering here?
Lacey Evans to Impact. Yeah, she'd fit.
As G.I. Jane.
Yeah. Listen,
she just does G.I. Bro like Booker T did.
Right. That was the funniest shit. G.I. Bro.
Right. Literally because he didn't have rights to the T gimmick, so he became G.I. Bro.
Major guns. Ding.
Oh, I could go better, but I like being on YouTube. His
Go,
name
Roxy,
is
go.
UNG, and I'll leave it at that. But I still, even spinning off of that, is even with the what of, is that funny? What? Is that
Wow.
humorous? What?
Oh, my friend. Good call. No, Dale agrees
Right.
with Chris. Listen, Roxy might win tonight. Nick thinks she's gonna.
Oh, she just hit a hurricane run off the top rope.
Is that Cora
One,
of
two go.
what, Larry?
Or half a what?
I don't know.
Habla inglés.
Is that Cora or half a ref? I don't get it. Cora and Dom. Oh, there you go. Except Braun would use him as a toothpick.
We've said that though. 100%
Yes.
of if there's gonna be an NXT Judgment Day, do Cora and Dom 100%.
I think it works. I think they both get on my nerves.
All right. They black and purple, black and purple, black and purple. Why? I met Braun at WrestleMania 34 at Pitbull on Paroles during WrestleMania weekend. Cool.
Wait, he was on a pole? Wait, what I missed that.
No, don't dig into it. Don't dig into it. Just
okay, we're good.
Moving on.
All right. This one, I like this one.
Well, one's retired from wrestling, I believe, and the other's pregnant. So
yeah, I wouldn't do it while she's pregnant. That's not a good move.
No, not
no,
quite.
I wouldn't do that.
Does that count as a handicap match then?
You're outnumbered. That's funny.
Right.
We got a crossface, by the way. A vicious crossface.
I like small marks coming here. More people tune in for Toxic Attraction than Bron Breakker. Only company with a female as the lead draw.
That's a valid argument. That's a valid shout, Mark. And that's 100% accurate. I mean, the New Day might be the biggest draw now, but up until then.
Accusations.
Oh. Dude, I thought it was over.
I think everybody did. Jake, what up?
Jake.
Who is a better wrestler, Liv Morgan or Mandy Rose? Mandy.
Tomato?
Oh, no, Mandy. Easy. Mandy.
I think Mandy's an underrated wrestler because people just don't like her. I don't think Liv's terrible.
I think this is going to be a stretch as we've got Mandy. Oh, Roxanne with a small cradle. 2 count. Mandy is 2022 Trish Stratus. She started off as just nothing but eye candy. Hey! Let's go.
Not on a roll up. Not on a. Oh, dose.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to let you get there. But so Mandy.
Yeah, here it is. Pop rocks.
Yes.
That was so like.
No, she caught her out of nowhere. I'll give her that. I was about to say of how Mandy. And this is Mandy dropping the title to move up. I feel like KJ, or like CJ said. But Mandy was a one that started off as eye candy and has proved that now she can actually go really well in the ring. She's probably one of the most solid women's title contenders, regardless of what brand she's on. But absolutely, for those going back to what was going on in the ring, for those who don't know who are watching along and everything. So Roxanne Perez is your new NXT Women's Champion. Wins it on the Pop Rocks, as you said. Wins it on the Powerbomb pin.
Dude, that's crazy. Out of nowhere. Now, I just feel like the only pet peeve, if I could change anything, I just wish the end of the match had a little more excitement to it. A little, maybe a few more.
Built to the finish more.
A little like,
oh shit, right?
Like,
more.
It was just kind of like the match was happening and then it was over, like real quick.
Because they're very much bigging up on. It's a huge thing that she won it as she's got streamers and confetti falling on her. As Mandy's looking on like this,
I'm waiting
but
for.
they're bigging up how Roxy's only 20 years old, which again, props.
There
But
you go.
I like it if they would have built more towards the finish. If they would
Mandy.
have, you would have had that story build towards it. If she goes, she hits it, she gets a kick out. Okay, now she hit it again. Boom. 1, 2, 3.
Mandy. Upset. Upset. That's a shock. I don't care. Time was running out. Yeah, true story. Maybe one less brawl in the back. Maybe one. I think we had 3 or 4. So maybe just one less brawl.
Fair enough. I still don't mind it because, like, if this is Mandy moving up, now that's the thing to wait and see on. Because if Mandy shows up next week on NXT and it's not her saying, "All right, well, I've lost the NXT title," like, unless there's not a clear sign that she's moving up and she's staying in NXT, unless she's staying to really put Roxy over, and if you get that, rematch and she really puts her over because Roxy loses,
Yeah.
and then she moves up beyond that, it's all right. You wasted the opportunity you had.
Horrible finish.
Now, question: worst
Yes.
finish, that or Jericho tapping out to the swing?
Oh, come on. That's not even fair. Jericho tapping out this. That's what I commented on today. I couldn't help myself. I don't like getting involved with the nonsense, but it was about like Jericho defending that finish. And I was like, fuck, Jericho, you know better. Better.
I hated everybody that instantly jumped to his defense or that was praising him for defending that, of like, dude, just even from a storytelling standpoint of regardless, and I've never taken a bump, what have you, go ahead, blah, 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 blah. But it's still one of those of visually, storytelling wise, it was a terrible way to end that match. It was such a fucking flat finish that it made no sense.
No, I agree, man. And John, like, to your point, all you had to do was roll him into a sharpshooter and then let him tap out or faint. I don't know. That was it. That was a small choice. Anyway, the ending of this was just, I mean, it was so, the lady had the belt for 400 plus days. They told us 25 times. And it was just like, really? After everything. It was just too, swat the fly for me.
The ending was weak, but the fact that they built up about how long she had the title reign and everything made it feel much more prominent, much more significant. I feel if they had given it more time, if they had built more into the finish and what have you, like I said, if she hit it and she gets a kick out, and then, okay, so now 5 minutes later in the match, she turns around and hits it again, and 1, 2, 3, after Mandy's, she's worked a big comeback and what have you. Of that match needed more time and a better progression psychology to pay off what they wanted, I feel.
Yeah, I just felt, I was just a little surprised. Now, I mean, I like surprises. I like that Roxy won because I like change. I like when something unexpected happens. I just feel like they got maybe they were running short on time and they just got to the point. But at the end of the day, the match lacked, but I like the news that we got a new champion. 6 out of 10 from DeMarcus. By the way, if you're new here, we take ratings out of 10 on the show. Let us know. We got 30 plus people kicking around. Out of 10, how do you feel about tonight's show? I know how Victor feels.
Well, I was going to say, what do you want to give it?
You know what? I liked it. I kind of enjoyed a lot of it, but then there's parts where I'm just, again, it's like I saw a lot happen tonight. I won't exactly remember it tomorrow morning. It's kind of funny like that. Right. But was I bored during no, I think the 2 hours and 8 minutes or whatever we've been live went fast. And maybe that's because of us. I don't know. But it was a quick night, a quick night of work. Usually when we're doing these streams, if it feels like we're dragging this out or it's a fucking trek to get to the end, this one, it goes quick. So that's a long-winded 6.5. That's a long-winded 6.5.
No, you're fine. Well, because I do very much get what you're saying of at times to where NXT can go either way very much, almost a little bit like Monday Night Raw of to where it can either be a slog to get through and even that's at 2 hours with new talent and what have you, or it just blows by you and you're like, wait, hold on, what happened? 6.5. 6.5.
6 from Dale.
I almost feel like I want to agree with you a bit there just because I was debating. I kind of want to base my full decision on it because I didn't mind it, especially obviously like with Roxy winning the title and everything. We've got a new kind of potential fresh start when it comes to NXT and what have you. And they did kind of try and move everything along as quick as they could, but it's still is not knock your socks off. It's not write your mom about anything like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. So did you give a rating in there?
6.5.
6.5. Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay, that's right. I didn't recognize that agreeance thing that we were doing.
Right. Yeah. See, you notice how I covered it in a nice sugar-coated candy.
Yeah, he was just like, put a nice little bow on it.
Right.
Alba, I agree with CJ on this one. I thought Alba was going to be the person to do it. And I think
should have about 3 different times, and then now she's involved with Isla Dawn, who can poison referees with her mind.
See,
apparently.
Now I know this is a bit retro, but if you had, like you said, like Alba went through that whole fucking Taken program of like, I will find you, and took out each one and got to the boss. And if she would have won then you could have done the Iron Survivor. And actually, Isla Dawn could have won it. And you now get Alba and Isla for a belt. Yay. Forget Roxy.
I get what you're saying there.
I'm just saying Alba should have won, realistically.
Oh, no, 100% it is. I get it's at this point, I feel like I've almost made peace of like, well, that ship has sailed. Because I know 100% I was on there of like even where she was taking out JC Jane, of even in that match on Halloween Havoc to where she took out JC Jane, and then she took out Gigi, and then we had the House of Horrors match, and then all of that, and it looked like she should have won then, and then they're like, nope, sorry about that. You stumbled, you were right there at the finish line, and you dropped the ball.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's all right because truthfully, I could see HBK booking Roxy in a very similar fashion to what she would book himself. Takes an absolute beating, finds a way to win. Takes an absolute beating, finds a way to win. We saw that over and over. It didn't matter what big guy was coming after Shawn Michaels. He'd absolutely get annihilated for 15 minutes and then hit a super kick and pin. So I think Roxy has that potential. You just need more. Maybe she needs a better finisher than Pop Rocks.
Yeah, but still, you have other sharks in that tank, though. Outside, you have still Cora Jade, who I know she's a heel. You still have Nikita Lyons. You still have Zoe Starks. This is 100% of. There's still a plenty of sharks in that tank there that could easily change that narrative really quick.
No, but that's exactly what I'm like. I mean, I think it plays.
Oh, you think that she just works under on all of them and just
works under a lot. I mean, with a Cora, she has an opportunity to kind of play the rivalry a bit. But I mean, if she goes up against the Starks or if Lions happen to come her way, like she's so outsized and such that I mean, I think you almost have to put her up. She becomes like your little NXT Daniel Bryan, right? Like where
Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, never give up. She's a scrappy little one and finds a way to win.
Right.
Stan, what are you doing? How's it going, buddy? 10 out of 10.
He's just talking about he's rating us there with the 10 out of 10. He's not rating NXT. That's why he just didn't put anything beyond that. He just said 10 out of 10. He's talking about us 100%.
Cora Jade should beat Roxy Perez easy. No. DeMarcus, no.
I feel like you need to get. And that's why I'm waiting for like Rumble season, Mania season, and everything, because I feel like you're going to see a good chunk of what you could phrase as the 2.0 generation like your Carmelo Hayes, like your Zoe
Okay.
Starks, like your Cora Jades that just move up, like your Cameron Grimes, like your Indy Hartwells, like we're already talking about. Of we get this, sweeper that comes through and just pushes everybody towards the main roster.
No, absolutely. Victor is a 4.5. CJ's a 4.5. Chris, I agree with it was shenanigans. See, a good ending is important, man. You got to get to the door proper. And you could have had a really, really good show, and people, that could have been a 7, again, 6.5. But to some fans, the ending sours enough that it's a 4, a 5. Like, it's crazy.
Right. I was going to say, no pressure at all while we're towards our ending or anything.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Right.
CJ.
Pause.
Yeah.
And accusations.
Yeah, and objection.
Right. Hearsay. Overruled, sustained. What?
Now Mandy will get lost on the main roster. It all depends on how they book her. And I'm
She doesn't go against Bianca. She goes against Ronda.
Mandy goes after Ronda?
She beats Ronda, and Ronda can then fuck off and hang out with Shayna and go after the tag titles, because then you don't have to have Ronda in such a prominent role, especially solo, to where she's weakest.
Out of 10. Yeah, no, I don't want her solo at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that feels like a little bit of the hopium in the current climate. Carmelo Hayes versus Axiom announced for next week. Okay, I think it'll be all right.
Right.
And then, yeah, we're getting a triple threat for next week's card. Stacked.
I think we're starting halfway to see a little bit of now. Is it an arms race, or now we finally developed stories?
I just think it's
developed characters.
Yeah. Competition makes you so. If this is kind of what we said many times about Tony Khan, is just worry about in-house. Don't worry about New Japan. Don't worry about, just take care of in-house. Get your in-house in order. Get your shit in order. And I think that's what Triple H is trying to do right now, is get all his ducks in a row. It's like, when you're playing a game and you're trying to get all, build your army before you start venturing off and fucking with other people. Build your army. And that's what I think he's doing. So I think that's what we're seeing a bit
of. Roxy is the most experienced woman on NXT. Makes sense. She won.
She's only 21. She can't be the most experienced.
Hey, don't knock the young age hustle. What?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying mathematically, you assume somebody's got a couple years on her. I can't confirm that. I mean, Mandy did. But Gigi's been wrestling for a little bit. I don't know. You might have a point. You might have a beat here.
I was gonna say, no, Serena Deeb's over in AEW and all of that. Like the real veterans end up somehow over in AEW.
Right. Yeah, interesting. It will be Mandy versus Becky at Mania. Whew. I don't know. Mandy's going to go to SmackDown. I kind of got that feel for sure.
Right. You get Damage Control, or if you've labeled them Control Alt Delete, kind of run a rough shot on Raw, and you get Toxic Attraction as the main kind of trios faction on SmackDown.
As long as they actually fucking win. Right, Bailey?
Hey, but tell me right now, with Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and Gigi Dolan on a Friday night, you ain't tuning the hell in.
Oh, absolutely. I'm there.
Exactly.
I'm there anyway.
Strap on and strap in.
Dude, I was there for fucking Dana Brooke and Tozawa. I'm going to show up for fucking... Come on now.
I was there in the best of times. I was there in the blurst of times. What?
All right. As we head towards the door, folks, we got to call it a night, but Mandy goes after Alexa, and Alexa beats Bianca. Well, but then what? That's tough because we're doing all the spooky stuff with Alexa right now.
I was gonna say, does Alexa beat Bianca?
I don't know.
Or does Uncle Howdy beat Bianca?
Well, either
with
way.
Hug it out, Sister Abigail.
And just like, but I wish she would have just hit it. Just hit the move. I know CJ, who's in the chat right now, we were live. Like, just do it. Just fucking do it.
What do you mean? To me, the whole thing is still, it's more of, I feel like Bray, if he's do whatever they're trying to pull off with him. They need to start pulling the threads on that. But I feel like he's more going at Alexa versus they're gonna get that pairing again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Damien asked, what do we think of Forbidden Door 2?
You mean Wrestle Kingdom 17?
Now,
bigger Forbidden Door 2 Electric Boogaloo, because we've got WWE, AEW, New Japan, Impact all
that
under
is
one
pretty
roof.
cool, though, man. That is pretty cool that all those companies are represented on this card and not former people. It's active.
I was gonna say, what a fucking time to be alive as a wrestling fan, and especially being a wrestling fan of a certain vintage. Like, to see something like that, that's why when I see people that are super like, oh, well, screw everything that WWE does, or vice versa with AEW or what have you, it's just one of those of like, I want to pull the fucking Adam Sandler and just like shake your head of like, don't you say that. Don't you ever say that. Like, no, you don't get it, of like to see all of those wrestling promotions under one roof.
No,
it makes you happy as a wrestling fan of knowing that that's a thing.
This one? I told Victor yesterday, I'm like, wait till Nick's on. We got to talk about it. Nick, we're going on a camp out, buddy.
Bring your sleeping bag. So, all right. What?
I didn't commit to shit. I promise.
No, what day? What day? I need to know what day.
Wrestling Kingdom is probably on somebody.
January,
like a Friday.
I have to Google this. Talk amongst yourselves while I Google this.
Dude, we bring our pajamas. I remember once upon a time.
We've already had brunch with the boys. Now we'll have just sleepover with the boys.
We're gonna have a
camp out with the boys. I'll just turn the lights out and I'll sit here with a flashlight and we can tell scary stories and everything while we're all up at the ass crack of dawn. We can all have breakfast together.
I'm down.
I feel like fucking Donkey and Shrek in the morning. I'm making waffles.
Yeah. Oh shit, that makes me Shrek.
KJs are like onions. Onions have layers.
No. Nick, like me? I think I misread
accusations.
Does Mandy and
Sonya good, Larry, but better phrasing.
Pause. Does Mandy and Sonya join back up?
You just made that 18 times worse.
It was so bad. I just froze on it. Like, what? Y'all need to be alone? I'll come back later. Saturday. It's a Saturday.
All right. Strap on and strap in, folks. We've had brunch with the boys. We've had double header evenings with the boys. We've had triple header, quad headers, whatever. We've had the mega stream and everything.
We really have done it all. This would be a first.
Right. At this point, we're just having, wake up and bake up, I guess, with Wrestling for Life Network.
Fuck. Y'all think we're entertaining during the night. You should see us at fucking.
Oh, you should see me when I'm half awake.
They're like, we have seen that, guys. House of Black are going to introduce a new member tomorrow. Eric Young. Oh, that is spicy. I like it.
Caliente with that one. 100%.
That's spicy. That's spicy.
Well, because everything we've heard with Eric Young is he's going back to WWE.
Yes.
Eric Young shows up in the House of Black, and we get maybe
that's so confusing.
Even we get a Brody King and Eric Young tag team or what have you, or we get a trios of Brody King, Eric Young, and Buddy Murphy while Malachi goes on a solo run or something like that. Strap on and sign me up.
Like we said, Tony likes to make a splash at Winter is Coming. So, and that sounds plausible, but anyway, not plausible, pausable. I did say it properly.
Pause and plausible, both of them. Double dip.
All right. Well, on that wonderful note, Larry, have a good night.
Yes, I am of a certain vintage.
Yeah, I keep reading it wrong. But that being said, folks, not a bad night of wrestling. We will be back tomorrow for Winter is Coming. AEW, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back doing another live stream. And when I tell you guys we're up to no good and we're not stopping, we're not. I mean, we're going to end off 2022 strong, and we're heading into 2023. I told you guys when we first started this channel, from the basement to the penthouse to beyond.
And started from the bottom, now we're here.
So what? But that all being said, folks, this week is going to be a great week. More wrestling to come your way. Like, subscribe, tell everybody you know we're here. And Victor and everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for anybody that clicked on the super chat or the super stickers. We are flattered, honored, and appreciate all of you. Don't miss what we got. Nick, how did you feel about tonight?
Oh, is that your way of saying, everything there?
Yeah.
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you're talking about the wrestling, you better put that for life with it. Now, give me my theme music.
Let's go. No, it's not let's go. It's see you on the flip side. Oh, my God. Good night.